Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Bibbidi Bobbidi Books. My name is Ellie and this is going to be the start of a new reading vlog. So today is Saturday and Danny, my husband, is actually away this weekend. He's gone up to see his family. So I'm home alone and I thought I would start a reading vlog because why not? I thought you could perhaps keep me company this weekend, and yeah, I'm excited about some of the books that I'm reading, so I hope that you enjoy this cozy reading vlog. In terms of the books that I'm currently reading, I am partway through The Ghost Bride, written by Yangzi Chu. So this is an old book. It was published quite a while ago, but I'm just very late to the party with this one. But I did see that this author is bringing out a new release this year that I'm very intrigued by, so I wanted to go back and try her previous work to see if I enjoy her writing. And so far so good. This is a young adult fantasy book and it follows our main character, who is a young woman, and she is presented with this marriage proposal. Basically, this family that have quite a lot of money want her to become a ghost bride. So they want her to marry their son who recently passed away and to basically go into a relationship with his ghost, which is such a bizarre concept but also really interesting. So we follow the way that unfolds, and our main character ends up experiencing a little bit of the spirit world, and she starts to uncover some secrets as well about the death of someone who was in that family. So it's kind of got a bit of a mystery in it as well. So I do actually really enjoy this one. At first I thought it might be a little bit cheesy and quite predictable with some of the tropes, but actually it surprised me quite a lot, and there's been some things that I haven't expected. I like the fact that it's focusing in on a bit of a murder mystery. I really enjoy the fantastical elements and the spirit world in here, and it's been a fun time, nice and easy to read. So yeah, I've been enjoying this one. And then the other book that I've been reading is Hyperion by Dan Simmons. This is a classic sci-fi. I know this is a lot of people's favourite. It's known as Dan Simmons' best work. So it comes with a lot of expectations, and I was a little bit nervous going into this one because it's a series that I've wanted to try for a while and I've been putting off because I find science fiction a little bit intimidating, and these are quite chunky books. And I don't know, I was just a little bit intimidated by it, but I've been buddy reading this with my friend John, which has been so fun. I mean, we've literally only just started it. I started this yesterday and I'm only like 20 something pages in. 28 pages into this one so far, so I've only made a little bit of a dent, but I am enjoying this one so far and I'm very, very excited to see where it goes. It's definitely a science fiction that throws you in, so it doesn't spoon feed you. There is quite a lot of world building presented to you within the first couple of chapters, but I don't think it's overly complicated. Like, it is still relatively easy to follow, but there is quite a lot of terminology and things like that, and I feel like with these books you kind of just have to go with it and just keep reading, not worry too much, and just hope that it all falls into place, because it usually does. But what I really enjoy about this is it has a very different style to a lot of science fiction that I've read. The opening chapter has almost like an old meets new vibe to it, because we're introduced to our main character who is like sipping a whiskey. Is it whiskey? He's like chilling out in his spacecraft, which is an ebony spacecraft. So there's all this like wood aesthetics going on, and he's sipping this drink, and it just feels kind of oldie-woldy in the way that it's described, but of course it is a sci-fi, it's set in the future and he's on a spaceship, so it's really, really interesting. And he basically gets this message, and he is basically told that he needs to join 6 other people on this mission or this pilgrimage to a place called Hyperion. So Hyperion is a planet, and the reason why they're going there is because the time tombs, whatever they are opening, and they need to get there before the enemy. So there's this enemy called the Oosters. Apparently there's been some kind of battle going on between them and everyone else, and they have found out that the time tombs are opening and they're on their way to Hyperion. So this pilgrimage needs to get there first in order to find out the time tombs secrets, the secrets of Hyperion, and to close it before the enemy get there. Or at least I think that's what the plot is so far. Obviously I've only read like 20 something pages and I'm still trying to get my head around everything, but it's really, really intriguing. Hyperion sounds like a really interesting place. I'm not sure what's going on with these time tombs, but I like the concept. It seems like on Hyperion there's this group of people that worship this creature called the Shrike, who is apparently part god, part killing machine. So I'm very intrigued by that. And yeah, we've just been kind of hanging out, finding out a little bit about our main character and the other people who are on this pilgrimage. And there's a variety of different characters. We've got our main guy, who is like a middle-aged man. We have a father figure. We've got a female character. Don't know too much about her just yet. We've got a priest. We've got a military type person, a general I think he is. We've got a poet, and we've got like a hooded man who is described as being very tall. I'm not sure if he's a different like race to humans, but yeah, we're just finding out a little bit more about each of these characters and why they have been selected to go on this pilgrimage. And they are all traveling to Hyperion on a tree ship, which is really cool. Again, another really unique aesthetic. So they are traveling on a ship that is like a tree, so it's like organic, and it has branches and leaves, and it's just such a cool visual, and not something that I've really read a lot of in sci-fi, because obviously you go into sci-fi and you expect like metal and machinery and, you know, bulkheads and stuff like that, whereas this is like tree ships. It's all very kind of almost ethereal, and I really enjoy that. So yeah, I'm excited to continue on with this one. I need to crack on because I'm already behind on my buddy read. So I need to crack on with this one. I have actually just been spending all day editing so far today. I've been editing my honeymoon vlogs, which are going up on my second channel, Bibbidi Bobbidi Bonus. If you're interested, I'll have a link down below. But my goodness, am I slow at editing vlogs, especially because a lot of the footage is really loud. So unfortunately, I've had to kind of take off the sound from a lot of the videos and do like voiceovers, which just takes forever. So I've literally been doing that all day, but now it is the evening, so I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna pour myself a glass of wine because why not? And I'm gonna settle down and do some reading, and I'm very excited about it. So I'll speak to you a little bit later when I've got a catch up. Okay, so hey, it's a little bit later and I've read up to page 44 of Hyperion, and I just wanted to read you a little bit because honestly the description in this book is so beautiful. So there's this moment where there is this character who is standing on the edge of this cleft, and he's just taking in his view. He's on the planet of Hyperion. And it says, mists rose from unseen waterfalls tumbling to the river far below, spray rising in shifting curtains of mist to multiply the setting sun into a dozen violet spheres and twice that many rainbows. I watched as each spectrum was born, rose toward the darkening dome of the sky and died. As the cooling air settled into the cracks and caverns of the plateau and the warm air rushed skyward, pulling leaves, twigs and mist upward in a vertical gale, a sound ebbed up out of the cleft as if the continent itself was calling with the voices of stone giants, gigantic bamboo flutes, church organs the size of palaces, the clear, perfect notes ranging from the shrillest soprano to the deepest bass. I speculated on the wind vectors against the fluted rock walls, on caverns far below venting deep cracks in the motionless crust, and on the illusion of human voices that random harmonics can generate. But in the end, I set aside speculation and simply listened as the cleft sang its farewell hymn to the sun. How stunning is the writing in this book. It's just so gorgeous. I feel like I can really see some of the scenes, and I just really enjoy hearing the description of this planet of Hyperion. So basically there's a section where the priest character, who's one of the people who is going on this pilgrimage to Hyperion, is talking about why he wants to go back to Hyperion. And part of the reason is because this priest that he knew went there. He was actually exiled to Hyperion, and he's reading out some of the journals of his friend and his time on Hyperion. So we're hearing his first-hand account of what it was like on this planet. And I just really enjoy how both equally beautiful and also incredibly dangerous Hyperion is. It's kind of like a jungle planet. So it talks a lot about kind of traversing through the jungle. It's talking about all of these creatures and things that he's seeing, but also of the foliage and the plant life as well. And there's this plant called a Tesla tree, and it's like a lightning tree, and it's really super dangerous. And there was this moment where they were camping up and the tree was like creating arcs of lightning basically, and there was just like explosions happening everywhere, and they had to protect themselves by having these big rods around their tent to try and like stop the lightning from hitting them. And it was like really scary, but also described in a way that it was really beautiful. So I'm really enjoying kind of that juxtaposition of danger and beauty within this book and the description of Hyperion. It does take a little while to read though, because it is heavy on the description, and so it is kind of quite a slow paced book, I would say, because of that. But it is very like nice cuddling up and reading this story, and my intrigue is just getting more and more, and I'm just very curious about what on earth is going on this strange planet. And yeah, I'm excited to find out more. Okay, so I got up to page 55 of Hyperion, so I've read a little bit more. It's definitely quite slow paced, I would say. Not in terms of like my intrigue, but just in the way that it's written. Like it's taking a little bit longer to like digest the words in this book, if that makes sense. But I am really, really enjoying this one. I can't believe how quickly the time has flown by. It's actually quite late now, so I think what I'm going to do is make myself a cup of tea, maybe get a little snack or something, and go and like cozy up in bed. I don't know, I always feel really weird. Oh wow, I'm so shiny. I always feel really weird like when I'm home alone, like being downstairs when it's like nighttime. I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but I prefer when it gets like quite late to just like go and hibernate in my bedroom. When I'm on my own, I don't know, it just feels weird hanging out in like my front room by myself. Let me know if I'm strange for thinking like that. But anyway, I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea and go up to bed, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday. Sunday morning. I'm just waking up, and I was planning to go out and get some coffee this morning, but it is actually the worst day ever. It's so disgusting out there. It's grey, it's raining, it's wet, it's cold, and so I'm just gonna have coffee in. It's a shame because I've been stuck in quite a lot this week, so I wanted to have an excuse to get out, but yeah, it's just so horrible out there that I don't really want to do that to myself. So I'm making coffee at home, and we're gonna have another chilled day, I guess. I do have some bits that I need to get sorted around the house, some boring stuff like washing, dishes, cleaning, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna have a productive housey day today, and then Danny is coming home later today, which is gonna be nice. I think we're gonna get a pizza and watch a movie or something, and we're also gonna be reunited with cats, which is so exciting because he is bringing the cats home. So yeah, it's gonna be lovely seeing our little fur babies. They've been with their grandparents, with Danny's family, for a while now, because we went down to my family for Christmas. Our families live really far apart. They're like opposite ends of the country, so we had to drop them off with Danny's family to be looked after during the festive period while we went and visited my family. And then we went on holiday in January, early February. So we figured rather than faffing around trying to pick them up and then drop them off again, it'd be best if they were settled and happy with the grandparents throughout that whole time. So it's been weeks since we've seen the cats. So I'm very, very excited to be reunited with them and for the family to be together. So yeah, I am just gonna have this coffee, probably have a bit of toast, and then I think I'm gonna crack on and read some Hyperion and try and catch up with my body read. And then once that's done, I can then relax a little bit, do the bits that I need to do, potter around the house, and maybe pick up Ghost Bride later on today as well. So yeah, join me for a very cosy, very chilled Sunday. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so hey, it's been a couple of hours since I last spoke to you. Sorry if the camera's a bit wonky, I'm just balancing it on my sofa. But I wanted to give you an update because I've literally been non-stop reading Hyperion and I couldn't put it down. I have finally finished chapter 1, so I'm up to page 98. Yes, there are 98 pages in chapter 1, which is just insane. But I've been so enjoying this. This is definitely one of those stories where you need to carve out a dedicated amount of time to just sit and enjoy it, because it takes a little while to get into. It is quite thick with the descriptions. It's not one of those stories that you can just dip in and out of when you've got a spare 10 minutes here and there. You have to like literally dedicate like a good hour or so to reading this story, but it is so worth it because this is so well written. It's fantastic. The world building is insane. The attention to detail that has, you know, been placed on building this world is unreal. I can't believe that all of this has just come from Dan Simmons' brain. Like, how has he come up with all of these ideas? It's ridiculous. But yeah, I think I mentioned before that we are finding out a little bit about the people who are going on this pilgrimage to the planet of Hyperion. And one of the people who is going is a Catholic priest, and we're finding out about why he wants to go back to Hyperion. And it turns out that he was friends with a fellow priest who was exiled to the planet of Hyperion, and he is reading out some of his journals. So we are hearing the first-hand account of this priest friend's experiences of being on Hyperion. And when he was there, he was interested in finding this group of indigenous people who live on Hyperion because they haven't really been studied by anyone. So he was really interested to go and find them and to find out about their culture and to just research them, I guess. And he travels across the jungles on this really dangerous, you know, mission through the thick, you know, forest of Hyperion, and ends up finding these people and living with them for a little while. And we find out a little bit about them, about their religious practices, about their culture, and it's so interesting. And we get some really, I don't want to give any spoilers, but we find out about what they believe in. And we do have the first sighting of the Shrike, which is this creature, I guess. I don't really know what it is yet, but the way it was described was so interesting. It's almost a little bit cosmic horror vibes. And what I love about this story is it feels quite familiar and earth-like at times, but then you do get mentions of things that are very alien and very bizarre, and it's just really interesting because you kind of almost get lulled into a false sense of security with some of these descriptions of like an Amazonian style jungle, and then you'll suddenly get like you know, some suggestions of some weird alien things going on as well, and it's just so interesting and unsettling, and it's just fascinating finding out about this group of people that live on Hyperion. And I just want to keep reading this book, but I can't because otherwise I would just lose the whole day, because it's definitely one of those books where you could just sit and read it and just forget about eating and drinking. Or at least I could anyway. I can see this becoming a new favourite if it carries on to keep my attention. But yeah, fantastic descriptions, fantastic world building, interesting characters so far, and yeah, I have no idea where this series is going to go, but I am very excited to find out. So yeah, so excited. I can't wait to talk to John about this when he has finished chapter 1 as well. It's such a fun book to buddy read as well, because I feel like there's going to be a lot to unpack with this one. And yeah, I'm just loving it. So yeah, anyway, now I need to have a break. And I'm gonna go and have some lunch and do some house bits. I need to do boring stuff around the home, so I'm gonna go and do that. And then I might have a little bit of a break from reading, maybe play some PlayStation or something, because it's still really miserable outside. It's still raining and drizzly and horrible. So I think it's gonna be an indoor day. So I might play some Baldur's Gate or something and just do something a little bit different for a while. And then probably when I go back to reading, I'll either switch to Ghost Bride or the new book that I got today. We'll see what I'm fancying. But to be fair, I want to just read this, but I shouldn't. It's kind of made me not want to pick up Ghost Bride, because although I have been enjoying that one, nowhere near as much as this one. So now I'm like, ugh, I don't want to read it. I want to read this one. But that's a good thing. It's a really good thing that I'm enjoying it. So yes, anyway, I'm gonna go and do some housework and then get some food and then probably play some PlayStation or something, and I'll catch up with you later.
Don't let him out yet. I'm gonna get the cat.
Hello, Hades. Hello, darling. Hi, gorgeous boy. Oh, I can't see you because you're a black cat. There's a little void in there. Oh, we'll let you out in a minute. We just gotta get Casper. Hello, Casper. Hey everyone, so it's quite a bit later now and I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update. So I've had a very chilled Sunday. I read a little bit this morning of Hyperion, and then I did a bunch of housework. I've tidied, I cleaned, I've done washing, I've hoovered, and I feel so much better for it. And I've showered and I've had some food and I played a little bit of Baldur's Gate on PlayStation, which is so much fun. And I've also done a little bit of reading, which is why I'm here to give you an update. So I have read a little bit more of Ghost Bride. I am now up to part 3, which is, hang on, where am I? Up to page 183. So part 3, which is called The Plains of the Dead, and I'm actually really enjoying this one. It keeps surprising me. The writing is it's very beautiful, but it's not over the top, if that makes sense. It's full of lots of really vivid imagery, and it's very beautiful and vivid in the way that it's described, but it's not like overly flowery with the writing, if that makes sense. And yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect from this one. I didn't know anything about it before going into it, so I had no expectations, and I've been so pleasantly surprised. It reminds me a little bit of some books that I've read before, like The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, I think it's called. It's basically, you know, following this young woman who is betrothed to someone who's died, so she's kind of fated to become this ghost bride, but she doesn't want that fate for herself, and she ends up kind of entering into the spirit world, and she uncovers some secrets about her husband, of the husband to be, or this person who she's been betrothed to, and she also finds out some other secrets, and the majority of it is her going through the spirit realm. And the spirit realm is so interesting in the way that it's described. There's a lot of talk about kind of how the afterlife works in this fantasy world, and it's quite interesting because our main character is neither alive nor dead. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but basically she has access to the spirit realm, but she isn't a ghost, and that gives her quite a unique position within the world. And she starts to basically investigate what's going on, because there is talk that there was a murder within the family that she's been sort of like betrothed to, and so she's kind of trying to find out what actually happened to that family, and she's trying to basically save herself really from the fate that she has been tied into, and also to save her family who are in not the best situation. Her father has become heavily addicted to opium and he is mourning the loss of his wife. He's never been quite the same since her mother died, and because of that his business has failed. So they were a very wealthy family, but now they are really struggling, and so she's trying to help her situation there as well. And yeah, it's just so interesting. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Spirited Away or something like that, with the visuals, with this afterlife, not afterlife, this kind of spirit realm where there's all of these ghosts but also other creatures and things, and it's a really nice whimsical fun time, and I'm really enjoying that it's not too angsty, because when I went into this one I thought it was going to be heavy on the romance, and there is a little bit of romance in there, but it's definitely not the main focus, and it hasn't been too like over the top. Like I feel like a lot of young adult books can be very like angsty with the romance and stuff, and that's definitely not the case with this one. It's much more about her taking fate into her own hands and trying to find out the best way to save herself, and it's really lovely. So I've been really enjoying this one. Nice short chapters as well, so it's really easy to get through. Hi everyone, it's the next day, it's Monday, and it's actually my non-working day, so I've had a very chilled morning, having lots of cuddles with the cats who are now back home with us, which is very cute. And I did a little bit of reading. I read a little bit more of The Ghost Bride, just like a couple of pages in bed this morning. I'm now up to page 200, still enjoying it. And now I am up and dressed and we are going to go out for a bit of a walk, I think. We're going to go grab a coffee and go for a little bit of a wander to stretch our legs, because I've been in a lot this week. But before we go, I just wanted to let you know that Danny brought this back with him, because this is a book that I pre-ordered and had it delivered to Cheshire, because if you don't know, we were in between places for a while. We did actually end up moving up in with Danny's parents for a little while, so I wasn't sure where I was going to be, so I sent like all of my pre-orders to Danny's parents' address. So he brought it back with him when he came home, and I'm excited. It's very chunky, so I definitely know what this is. I'm very late to the party with this one, but I am excited, so let's open it. Yay! Okay, so these are so chunky, these books. Let's see if I can get it out. Here we go. So this is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is the newest release, the third book in her Crescent City series, and I am nervous about this book. A, because it's so chunky, and B, because I didn't really get on with the second book in this series. I really wanted to love it, and I had a lot of issues with it in the end, so yeah, I'm kind of nervous to see if I enjoy this one, but I will be reading this one soon, probably next month. Slightly intimidated by the length of it, but yeah, I do normally enjoy Sarah J. Maas's books. I am a fan of her Court of Thorns and Roses series. That series got me through the pandemic. It was just what I needed at the time. I love her over-the-top ridiculous romances. Her description of sexual tension is always just really, it just gets me, you know? It gets me excited. And yeah, I really enjoyed the first book in this series. Well, I'm not sure I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first book in this series. The second book was a big no-no for me, so fingers crossed Sarah J. Maas pulls it back up again. So yeah, I will be reading this next month and I'm terrified. Hopefully I love it. Anyway, I am now going to go out for a walk and then I'm going to come back and do some reading probably, so I guess I'll speak to you a little bit later on. So we have come out to a local park.
We're being stalked by a monster.
No, we're not. I hope we're not. Anyway, this is found footage right here.
Yeah.
No.
And we're lost.
I am a bit concerned that we're going to be lost because it is like a big place that we come to, and there's lots of different like paths in different directions, and I feel like we haven't been keeping track of where we've been going.
I think we got lost here before once as well.
We did. So
If we do start to get lost and it gets dark and stuff, can I do like a really close-up clip on the camera where I'm all crying and all snotty like in Blair Witch?
no, it has to be me because it's the girl.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'll go and find a corner to stand in.
I'll survive because I'll be like the final girl.
No, she didn't survive.
Oh no.
Spoilers. That's why it's found footage. The footage was found.
I need to start shedding items of clothing.
Wait, why?
Because that's what happens to the female characters.
Oh, okay. I don't think that happened in Blair Witch.
Oh, okay. That was quite a scary film, to be fair.
It was. Well, it's because it's not like a slasher or anything, is it? If it was a slasher, then she'd be running around with a boobs out.
That's what I'm thinking about, yeah.
She's just inexplicably running around the forest in her pants.
Yeah, I know. Anyway. Oh, there's a dog. Hi. Hello. I am not strong enough. Then you gotta scooch around like this. Gotta hold on. Put your foot on there. Like this.
Is this new content for Bibbidi Bobbidi Bonus? How to get out of a tree?
It's just most flexible.
On this channel, I'm going to be doing vlogs, tree climbing tutorials.
Oh no. Oh no. Help. Oh. Gosh. Okay. I'm alright, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
This video is to promote my new range of outdoor activity wear for outdoorsy active individuals like myself.
Oh dear. I don't think you can see this, but the sky looks so pretty. It's like sunset starting to happen. Also, we haven't got lost. We found our way back. We are geniuses. We followed our directions, the clues.
But the creature will follow us home.
Hey everyone, so you may or may not be pleased to hear that the creature did not follow us home and we're home safely. And yeah, I just wanted to check in, let you know that I've done a little bit more reading of Hyperion, so I'm now up to page 120 something, 127. So I've made a little bit more progress through this book and I'm still really enjoying it. We're getting a different perspective now, so we've been following the soldier and finding out a bit about his past, and he's explaining why he wants to be in this pilgrimage and why he's going back to Hyperion and to the time tombs. So it's a little bit of a change of scenery, a little bit of a change of perspective, and I'm still really enjoying it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to carrying on with this one tomorrow, but I think I'm going to put it down for now and just chill out. I want to go get some food and then probably play some PlayStation or something, maybe watch a little bit of YouTube. I just wanted to check in and say that we're back, and I guess I'll speak to you tomorrow if I've got another update. Bye for now. Hey everyone, so it's been quite a few days I think since I last spoke to you. I'm really sorry. I meant to wrap up this video on Tuesday, but I ended up just spending the whole day feeling incredibly anxious because I had a tattoo appointment in the afternoon, so I was just really nervous all morning and didn't think to pick up my camera. So it has been a few days since then. I just have been kind of absorbed back in working life and just very busy because it's been half term, so we've had quite a lot of staff off of work, so there's been lots to do and I've just been distracted and haven't thought about picking up the camera, so I'm sorry about that, but I'm here now to give you a wrap up and to round up this video. So my main priority this week has been Hyperion, my buddy read. I am now up to page 306, which is up to chapter 5, and I have continued to really enjoy this one. There have been a few issues with pacing with me. There's been a few moments where I found it a little bit slow to get through and a little bit much for me to process. There's been quite a lot of world dumping, a lot of information, so it does take a little while to digest, but it's been so worth it because the payoffs so far have been great. This has been really interesting because it reads kind of like a series of short stories, because each chapter is basically telling a story about one of these people on the pilgrimage. So each chapter is from a different point of view. It's basically finding out why they are so invested in this pilgrimage, why they want to go to Hyperion. And so we're finding out a little bit more about each character. In terms of the actual plot, the like now narrative, not much has happened. It's basically just been all of the pilgrims traveling to Hyperion and telling their stories, but I quite like that. And each chapter has felt very different. It has a very different flavour because of course we're following a different point of view, and all of the characters are very different and they have very different reasons for being on this pilgrimage. So of course the first perspective was the priest that I really enjoyed. The second perspective was the soldier. I found that there was a lot of information in the soldier's chapter about war and politics. It did take me a while to process, but the payoff was ridiculous. The climax of that chapter was honestly one of the wildest, most disturbing, most memorable, most graphic things that I've ever read, and it's going to stick with me for a long time. My goodness. Then we had the perspective of the poet, which is probably my least favourite chapter so far. He isn't a very likeable character in my opinion, and I don't think he's supposed to be likeable. He's a person who's lived for many hundreds of years and is a drunk and is a little bit mad. But nonetheless, it was quite interesting finding out his perspective and his story. There was a lot of talk in that chapter about words and the importance of words and the power of words, and also a little bit about the publishing industry, because the poet obviously publishes his poetry. He publishes something that is incredibly successful and then has a lot of pressure from the publishers to continue writing, and it talks a little bit about, you know, churning out things that aren't meaningful to you and what that can do to your creativity and your sense of self. And I just feel like Dan Simmons probably took a lot of his own experiences and put them into that chapter. But then we have the perspective of the father figure. So there's a father with an infant child who's on this pilgrimage, and his chapter is truly heartbreaking. I don't want to give anything away, but basically he introduces a character that experiences time a little bit differently, and they are very much stuck in the here and now. The present is all they have, and I think that's so interesting because a lot of the themes in here are about time and about humans' obsession with immortality and wanting to live forever. And so when you introduce a character who only has the here and now, it gives you a very different perspective and a different way to think about time and think about our experiences and things like that. So it's a really interesting tool that Dan Simmons used, I think, to explore some really interesting themes in this book. But yeah, it was truly heartbreaking, that section of the story. So yeah, I've been enjoying this one. It hasn't been anything like what I expected, but I am intrigued to carry on reading this one. I'm glad I've been taking my time with it as well, because I feel like it's a book that you really need to just appreciate and, you know, not rush through. So yeah, that's that. And then I also probably read more of Ghost Bride since I last saw you. I'm near the end of that one now, still enjoying it. Don't have any major thoughts to add other than what I've already said. It's perfect if you enjoy a whimsical fantasy, if you like something that weaves in a little bit of mythology in there. It has a really creative, you know, setting, and it's just been a fun time. So yeah, I've also been enjoying that one. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here because I'm aware that it's been a really long chatty vlog, so I hope that you have enjoyed it anyway. And if you're still with me, thank you so much for listening to me prattling on. And yeah, I think the next video that I'll upload is going to be a wrap up of all the books that I've read in January and February. So if you want to hear my final thoughts on these books, keep an eye out for that video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I hope you are having a wonderful day, whatever it is you are doing. And I guess I'll see you next time with another video.